Hey everybody, Gabe here. Before we jump into today's episode, just wanted to let everybody know that today's episode is uncensored. Normally I drop a couple words here and there, but this one is definitely filled with much more than what I would typically include in the show. So if your kids normally listen to the show, or you may be easily offended by curse words or crude jokes, you might want to tune out on this one. But I definitely have to say that although it is uncensored and slightly crude at times, it is a fantastic episode and really, really funny. So just wanted to give everybody a fair warning about this week's episode, just simply because it's very different than most. But with that being said, let's jump into the show.
Hi, and welcome to the Theme Park Duo podcast. Grab your park map, churro, and hop in line with us as we take you on a coast-to-coast adventure through the world of theme parks, haunts, conventions, and more. Now, here's your hosts, Nikki and Gabriel.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another fantastic episode of the Theme Park Duo podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Gabe.
And I'm one of your hosts, Nikki.
And we are
the Theme Park Duo.
This is day number 10,061 on the Axiom. Welcome aboard, everybody. Still in quarantine, but still talking theme park goodness and themed entertainment goodness on the show. Hopefully we have kept you company as you've been isolated in your homes.
I'm going cabin fever.
Cabin fever.
Yeah.
You hear it. She has a flesh-eating disease.
That's not.
And it's attacking her leg.
Not like the movie.
Oh, that's what. That's
like,
immediately. You're talking to a horror guy.
Just like
here,
mental cabin fever.
If I was stuck in the house with me, I would be in cabin fever too.
Exactly.
That makes plenty of sense.
I am trapped in a house with a crazy, rambunctious human being.
And a 1-year-old.
And Gabe.
And a 1-year-old. Yes. So, we are doing very well here.
I said that wrong. I meant to make it sound like
you said it right.
No, you said it right. I said it wrong.
Yes.
Yeah. But that's what I meant to make it sound like you were the crazy
I think
one.
I think everybody knows what you're trying to do, even though you didn't know what you were trying to do.
I knew what I was trying to do. I did not do it well.
Yeah, sure.
Cabin fever.
Anyway, yes, that's your excuse. That's fine. Anyway, moving on. Welcome to this week's episode. We have a fun one for you guys. We have the guys from the Grim Grinning Host podcast on, where we do the big fun wheel of themed entertainment questions. You'll probably notice that I haven't really necessarily nailed down a title for it, because what I just said is probably different than what I said when we recorded 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then this
probably
is also
be
probably
different
on the thumbnail
yes.
as well. So it is a wheel that we spun that had questions.
Extravaganza spinny wheel thing.
Extravaganza spinny wheel thing.
That's what should be on the thumbnail. No, why do you have to do that?
An acronym?
Why do you have to acronym it?
Because acronyming things is fun.
Not really.
Yeah. So your name is Nikki Montoya, sir.
Yeah.
There you go.
Or Nikki, middle name Montoya is Nome.
Yes. Anyway, so you heard the warning at the top of the episode. Gonna throw the warning again, guys. This week's episode is completely uncensored, so there are, and probably are, things that may or may not offend some people. Who knows?
Maybe. Who knows?
Specifically Lee Malaby of the Unofficial Universal Orlando podcast.
It's not his fault.
No, it's not.
No.
He's bald, but that's not his fault.
No.
It's not like he chose to be bald
Unless
in the way
he
that he
shaves his
is.
head.
I don't think he does. I don't know.
Greg
Maybe he
shaves his
does.
head.
This is not the topic of this week's episode, whether or not Lee shaves his head.
I'm just saying, some
You
people
took us down an avenue that we don't want to go
No,
down.
I'm saying that some people shave their head and you wouldn't even know.
Like Greg from Park Journey.
Like Chia Greg.
Chia Greg.
Yeah.
Hashtag Chia Greg.
In quarantine, he decided to start growing his hair out. And I think he lasted, 8 weeks?
I don't know. He lasted a long time.
Yeah.
And he reminded me of my high school defensive line football coach.
Yeah?
Yes, a little bit. But anyway, yes, so we definitely go off the rails in this episode. So another warning out there for you guys. It is a little uncensored, so there are some curse words and other things that are said. And it should be a fun episode for you all to listen to, because I guarantee you And I guarantee you, I 100% guarantee you that we had a great time.
Yeah.
But I had a really fun time editing it. So, but it should be a really fun episode for all of you to listen to. But before we jump into that, we actually have a couple things we want to talk about. First thing we want to jump into though is the Theme Park Bulletin. First piece of news that we want to talk about today, and the only piece of news that we're going to be talking about today, is actually today, the day that we are recording this right now. Shanghai Disneyland has opened its gates
Woo!
for the first time since this COVID-19 issue has happened.
With modifications.
With plenty of modifications. You know, guests are, they have to wear face masks. There's like tape everywhere showing social distancing and where you need to stand, what you need to do. There was only a certain amount of tickets sold for the day for you to be allowed to come in, that sort of stuff. So, I mean, this is really a big test
Yeah.
to see how everything works. And I did see a couple things on Twitter that of like people who work at Walt Disney World saying they were told they're going back to work eventually,
Yeah.
like really soon.
Yeah.
So getting letters and emails about that now is a good sign for the United States getting back to
Some form
some
of normal.
normalcy.
Yeah.
So it's a little exciting to see this happen, but I'm also very I'm optimistic, yet I'm hesitant.
Yeah.
Because I want to see how all of it's going to work.
We also just want everybody to stay safe, you know?
Yeah,
So it's like we
yeah.
don't want it to be too early. You know, as much as, you know, all this is really hard on everyone, it's like a little bit of toughness now to just, you know, nip this thing to where we can get back to normal faster. And I think that's something people are overlooking.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And like you said, Nikki, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think it really comes down to wanting to make sure that people are just safe.
Yeah.
We don't want anybody to get hurt. We don't want anybody to die, get sick. You know, regardless of what level of sickness you are, we don't want people to get sick at all.
Yeah.
So,
For the sake of going to a theme park. It's like,
yeah, it's really not worth
Yeah.
it. It's not worth it in the end. I mean, like, I'd rather not get sick than go to Disneyland.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's exciting.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah. So-
Hopefully it all works out well.
Yeah, we'll cross our fingers, and obviously we'll talk about updates as soon as they come along here on the show.
Yeah.
But that is the only bit of theme park news that we're going to be jumping into. And actually, I do want to let everybody know that we're going to be having a bonus episode drop next week, where we have Rick West from Midsummer Scream and Theme Park Adventure on the show to talk about Midsummer Scream's cancellation. Because Midsummer Scream 2020 was officially canceled.
Yep.
Wah wah. But he's going to come on the show and talk a little bit about behind the scenes and what they had to discuss and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll talk a little bit about that on a bonus episode. And then recently, we made a small little trip. Well, not we, me, Gabe.
Yes.
Made a trip out to Buena Park. So let's jump into our trip report for Knott's Berry Farm. So I went down to Buena Park, which is about 40 minutes away from us.
Yeah.
And it's because Knott's Berry Farm reopened the chicken to go and the berry market.
Yeah. So exciting.
So for us, that is a very big deal. For us, Knott's is like a second home. Like, we love Knott's Berry Farm to death. So knowing that there is a small piece of it that we could experience during a time that, you know, we're all having a rough time, it brought a little bit of light into our lives a little bit.
Yeah,
you
it
know, a little
was-
bit of excitement, something different.
Yeah. It was an exciting Friday.
Yeah, exactly. So I went down there to pick up chicken to go. So I bought some fried chicken ahead of time and was going to test out the curbside pickup.
Uh-huh.
I also went to the berry market because I wanted to buy some berry goods for us.
Yeah. You also did 1,000 Instagram stories of a rooster.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
And people who tuned in had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I did do an Instagram story of me going, and I do have to say that, like, getting off the freeway and seeing Knott's and having that main thoroughfare blocked off, it was really emotional.
Yeah.
You know, it was an emotional experience not being able to experience Knott's in the way that we're used to.
Yeah.
And not in a way. Let me put it this way: it was something that we're so used to that felt so alien.
Yeah.
And that was odd. So having to go around to Crescent and then turn into the temporary parking lot
Yeah.
from that street, you have to either park to go to the berry market or go around the corner around Ghost Rider to go to the curbside pickup. I showed up about an hour before our time for chicken, so I went to the berry market and I bought plenty of things.
Yes,
and,
you did.
And I bought some stuff to give away on Twitter, which right now there is a post on our Twitter page where you could retweet it, follow us, and like it, and be entered to win some Knott's Berry Farm goodness.
Yeah. Yummy goodness. Or a pot holder. Don't eat the pot holder.
The pot holder's definitely not the yummy goodness.
Yeah.
The
that's
food
why
is the yummy
That's why I
goodness.
specified.
Well, you need to, because somebody's going to eat the pot holder.
It's not like Willy Wonka. You can't lick it and taste boysenberries.
Well, I mean, you can lick it, but
but
it's
you
not
won't
just
tell.
boysenberries.
You won't taste boysenberries.
It's going to taste like factory.
Factory.
But yeah, so went there, and that was just such a odd experience, because normally when you park in the area next to Knott's, there's people laughing, and you hear all the screaming from the roller coaster, because it just, the way sound carries.
Yeah, and the rattle of it just going by.
Yeah, well, I mean, like the roar of Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Because that comes out and over the parking lot.
Yeah.
It comes out of the park. None of that was there.
Uh-huh.
It was dead quiet. And that was so weird.
Yeah.
I don't think I was fully prepared for that.
Uh-huh.
So, going in, everybody that worked there was unbelievably nice and helpful and kept their distance, were wearing masks, and they just all seemed just as happy to be there as I was to be there.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I'm sure people were like, oh, finally, I'm going back to work. But
Yeah.
also just having people there.
Yeah.
Having people there, having a smile on their face, even though you can't necessarily see it.
You can see it in their eyes.
You can see it in their eyes.
Some people have dead eyes.
I have dead eyes.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't. Stop being weird.
I have
You have
dead
smiley eyes. Stop being weird.
dead eyes.
Now you have creepy eyes.
The return of Creepy Gabe.
Keepy Gabe?
Keepy Gabe. I hope you keep me. I hope you keep me.
I have Keepy Gabe.
Creepy Gabe.
I married Keepy Gabe.
You married Keepy Gabe.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so it was a very simple, easy trip to go buy stuff. And I actually really had a really good time just being there. And I actually ran into Greg. Greg was there from Park Journey picking up chicken and stuff. So it was so nice and like cathartic.
Yeah.
And being able to see somebody, no offense, other than you.
No offense taken.
that I haven't seen in a really long time was just so nice to interact with people. And like I said, something we're so used to that feels so alien. It's
Yeah.
so odd. And so once I finished with that, I did spend about an hour there. Jumped in the car, went to go pick up the chicken, which is actually on the back side of the Peanuts headquarters.
Uh-huh.
You literally pull around, they scan your QR code, they find your chicken, they hand it to you, and you're off and running.
Sweet.
Literally everything was so simple, so streamlined, and easy. All the workers were on it. They knew what was going on. They knew where to send me. Everybody was just on it. And I could not give them more kudos for that.
Good.
Because that could be a situation very easily be messed up and for them not to get it right. But they did.
Good.
And the one thing is that it wasn't like uber crowded or busy, but I want to know how well that system works when it's really busy.
I saw a picture from Saturday, the day after you went, and it looked pretty busy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, and it also looks busier simply based on the fact that, people can't go in.
Yeah, they're in line outside, and the line looks longer than it would normally because people are so spread out in that line. But yeah, it was like the line for the berry market was past the entrance to Mrs. Knott's Chicken Dinner Restaurant.
But yeah, no, it definitely was longer lines during the weekend for sure. I mean, I went on a weekday, like you said.
Yeah.
So I think I chose the right time to go.
I think so too.
Got really lucky on that one. But, definitely big kudos out to everybody that's working at Knott's right now, helping everybody kind of get a little bit of normalcy in their lives during this rough time. I had a really nice time going out there, and we had a very, very tasty lunch and dinner that day.
Yeah, we had lunch and dinner.
Yeah, so it was very nice having that, and just a little bit of, like I had said, a little bit of light in our lives for that moment.
It was a nice treat.
It was a very nice treat. So it was a really fun trip, and
Aaron loved the chicken.
Oh my God!
It was her first Mrs. Knott's chicken.
Mrs. Knott's chicken.
Oh, she scarfed it down.
She did. I mean, I'm not shocked by that. It's delicious.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So that's our quick trip report summary. I mean, it's not much to talk about. It's more of like a emotional thing rather than like a fact-driven thing.
Yeah.
Like trip reports normally would be, and I think just given the circumstances. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Go get some chicken.
Yeah. Well, you can order ahead, pick it up, head on out. You can buy a lot of stuff online too right now. If you other than the chicken.
Yeah.
If you want to just get some berry goods, you could on knots.com. You could actually buy certain goods and items and have it shipped home.
Yeah.
So if you're somewhere in the Midwest and don't have the ability to drive down to Buena Park, you can order it online and have it sent to your house. So check it out.
Yeah.
But with that being said, it's about time we jump into the main portion of the episode where we have the gentleman from Grim Grinning Host Podcast join us for the big wheel of themed entertainment questions. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our fun theme entertainment wheel of craziness episode that we're doing here with some wonderful people, some wonderful friends of the show. I got to be on the show, Nikki. You didn't get to go on the show that time, but I have had the wonderful opportunity of being on Grim Grinning Hosts, and we have some of the wonderful individuals from that show with us today. We have Kenny, Travis, and Hunter. Welcome. Guys.
Howdy.
What's up? I specifically asked for no brown M&Ms, and I'm very disappointed already. So just you're on my watch list, Gabe.
Well, I mean, I'm colorblind, so I mean, you should have asked that first.
Look, if I wanted a dog to sort my M&Ms, I would have got a dog.
Just saying, you should have asked questions before assuming that I knew what colors are what, because to me, red is blue.
That
I bet you.
Shh.
Okay.
Are you really disappointed when you open a package of Starbursts and you're just like, oh man, some of these are significantly better, and I have no clue which one is the right one?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Pretty much only want red and orange, and that's it.
Oh man, pink's where it's at. Come on.
No, you
I
got
don't
problems.
Like pink. I don't
You
like
got
pink.
problems.
How many times have you thought you got Skittles and it was just Milk Duds?
Kenny, those are significantly more different in size.
I also
why are
have
they
depth
melting?
perception issues. But yeah, no, welcome to the show, guys. Thank you for coming on and joining us for this fun episode. I want to do something fun with you guys. I didn't want to do like a simple sit down topic episode. I wanted to do something that would allow us some range here to joke around and have some fun. I think during this quarantine period, that's what we need to do. We need to laugh, have fun, let off a little bit of steam, just have a good time.
Agreed. 100%.
Let's not waste any time. Let's jump into it. So we have different statements, questions, and scenarios here. We're going to be spinning a wheel, and whatever number it lands on, we're going to be talking about that specific thing. We're going to let our guests go first. Which one of you three would like to go first on this thing?
Travis does.
Travis, you're first. There you go. Done and done.
Come on, Travis.
I guess. Travis,
Get
this
it.
is your punishment for showing up for a guest podcast and not on our own.
Well, the wheel has already spun. The wheel has already spun, Travis, and you get number 17.
Oh, boy.
Number 17 is pretty tame in comparison to the most of the other
we're
things on this
starting
list.
easy.
We're starting real easy here. So, what is your favorite cue for an attraction?
I mean, we've been out of the parks for like a month now. I've almost forgotten even what any of these cues look like anymore.
Yeah,
It's
like,
not
what
the
is it
river
called?
journey.
Like Knott's Strawberry Farm, something like that. I don't remember the names
Right.
of the places.
I think currently it would probably be maybe Flight of Passage right now. I just like the
Really?
whole kind of. I guess
Yeah,
the
that's
latter half of it is better than the front half of it. I mean, I guess it also depends. It's kind of cool when you're kind of outside, as long as it's not like a 90-degree Florida day like it is, 11 months out of the year. But I think the whole laboratory areas and stuff like that's really cool. So I think, yeah, I just think that it has so much cool stuff in it that I think that's probably my favorite right now.
The
There you
queue
go.
is better than the ride.
Boom, roasted. Haven't been on it yet, but I want to experience it
Damn.
eventually.
Yeah.
So everybody else can chime in on these subjects now. So once somebody who's spun the wheel and given their answer, everybody has the opportunity to chime in if you would like
you
to
want.
chime in.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Mm.
So like for me, queue wise, it's hard not to kind of mention Rise of the Resistance because
Yeah.
that attraction's queue is really an experience. There's a lot going on in it where you're actively involved and a participant in the story. But if we're going to take that out of the equation because that is pretty
Something-
significantly
yeah,
different and
something
new
in
than
and of
most
itself.
things, I would have to say that the queue line for the Indiana Jones Adventure is
God
pretty
damn it.
amazing. It's pretty incredible just from the level of detail to the storytelling. It's really top notch. And then if I would have a runner up behind that, I would say Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin in Toontown.
Ooh.
That is just so damn freaking cool to hear little story beats from the characters themselves before actually getting to the attraction, and like walking underneath the floorboards and hearing the wheels above you. That's just so damn cool. I get dorky every time I go on that ride. I just want to wait in the queue just to hear that part.
Don't even want to ride the ride.
Yeah, it's like, hey, oh sir, how many do you have? Oh no, I'm good. I just wanted to wait in line. I'm good. Thanks. Bye.
It's sort of
big
hard to
ones.
not mention Gringotts.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Because it's better
Thank-
than the ride.
Nikki Nikki, that's fighting words for Nikki.
I really like the Green Gots ride, but just sticking to the question at hand, I would say that I love the Forbidden Journey queue just because you're in Hogwarts.
Yeah. I feel like that's one that kind of unfairly gets overlooked now just because we've had it for so long, at least here
Yeah.
on the East Coast. Like it's been around for a decade now. It's been
Mhm.
around longer than the original iteration of Islands of Adventure even. And like man, how people still freak out walking into Hogwarts for the first
Yeah.
time. So like you can't take that away from people.
It's about
Yeah.
as close as you're gonna get to actually going into the, actual Hogwarts itself. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty damn cool.
There's some pretty great ones mentioned here, but I'm gonna go ahead and toss it back with a nostalgia pick. E.T. Adventure for sure.
Oh,
yeah, of course.
Just you can't beat that sweet nostalgia of a classic 90s attraction.
Yeah.
The speak and spell, doing the clicks. Isn't it the speak and spell? But it's doing some kind of weird. Help me out here. What is
sounds
it?
like sounds like a
No,
damn camera.
I'm just gonna let you drown.
Yeah.
That's what they usually do.
Not even ET can save your ass right now. But I do want to
Botanicus.
mention Botanicus. Happy 420, y'all. But anyways, the little robot rabbit it featured in the queue. How can you not love him? I'm
Yeah.
surprised he's not stolen by now, to be perfectly honest.
Robot rabbit. Where's that?
You don't know where the little rabbit animatronic is?
I mean, I'm sure I've seen it, but refresh my memory.
Man, you be hitting that Botanicus a little hard. He's like, as soon as you enter the queue, if you look back, he's got like a little hidey hole that he pops out of.
Very nice. I like
Yeah.
him. He's cute. He's a
He's
cute little
fine.
bugger.
He's no Bean Bunny, but you know.
Okay, moving on. Next one. I'm gonna throw it to Hunter here. Hunter, I just
Go.
spun the wheel. You got number 11. Number
Cool.
11 is the Hollywood Tram Tour randomly and unexpectedly detours off property at least one time a day. What fucked up LA location does it take its visitors?
What fucked up LA location? I'm gonna say out front of the Chinese theater.
Oh, yeah.
Just because as much fun as you think it looks, you don't realize how many people will brutally murder you for $5 in the Burger King coupon that you have in your back pocket.
Just the real pungent smell of human feces and urine just really packs a punch.
Yeah,
right
it
when you
does.
step off.
It's
It-
like Halloween Horror Nights featuring crackhead Elmo, and like you
Yeah.
can't get that experience except for maybe like right outside Times Square.
Then the random homeless ladies hitting on your significant other.
Oh
happened
yeah,
What are you talking
when
about?
we were with our friend
No,
Lisa Megan.
I don't know. I know what friends we're talking
We were
about, but I don't remember the
we were
experience.
walking across the street to the hookah place, and she was walking towards us, and she got all up over you, and
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that. It was so awkward.
You got $20.
I totally forgot about that. Yeah, we were
Yeah.
going to this hookah place, and she was like all up on me and my friend Chase, just
Yeah.
like talking to us like, "Ooh, what are you guys
Yeah.
doing today?" And
Me
I'm
and
like,
Megan are like, you guys got this.
help us, please, God, Lord.
That really
Yeah.
is like the Las Vegas Strip of Los Angeles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Anybody
like-
else want to get in on this nastiness?
No,
before we move
I
on?
mean that's what I would have said.
It's like really fucked up Mortal Kombat where you're seeing crackhead Elmo versus methamphetamine Batman, and like you just don't know who's going to win.
I'll put money on one of them. I'll put money on one of them. Okay, moving on. Kenny, sir, spun the wheel. You got number 1.
Oh,
This came from a listener, and it's kind of a depressing question. But
oh.
do you think Halloween events will happen this year at theme parks?
God damn it! I get this down. Oh boy. Shit. I don't know. Like, I really don't know. I'm trying to be super positive and optimistic about all this, but boy, it's gonna be tough. Like, I keep trying to turn over in my head how theme park settings in general are gonna work during all of this. And I don't know. I can't find many good outcomes. And Halloween with like Not Scary Farm and Halloween Horror Nights specifically, like, man, those are just really built to encourage crowds be sort of packed together, and it's like a lot more intense as far as like the gatherings and the social not distancing and all of that stuff compared to like a normal day at a theme park even. So I mean, let's be super optimistic and say yes, but they're going to be heavily modified. I mean, we've got a lot of time until September and October roll around. So like, let's be positive and let's hope that some positive things happen. But like, let's be realistic. There's likely not going to be a cure for the virus by then. So like things are.
I don't know what you're talking about, man, but there's, Lysol. Lysol's a cure.
Yeah.
Just straight injection of Lysol. That's what they're gonna be doing at the front gates. Everybody just gets a Lysol stab.
And vitamin D. So just have the events during the day. You're set.
Boom, done.
Turkey baster of Lysol right up the ass, right?
Everybody gets a respirator and a Tyvek suit that you walk around in. So
I personally cannot wait for my blanket cup full of Clorox bleach this fall season. Like I really just once the green lights hit, it really goes down eating.
Did you almost say Clorox Beach?
Clorox Beach? Very different section of LA. That would have been my second choice.
Oh yeah, that's where the Terror Tram is going next. Yeah. There's not going to be a Terror Tram again this year, is there? They're getting rid of that thing, aren't they?
I don't know. They got rid of it last year.
Yeah, there's no Terror Tram.
I didn't mind it. I needed a break from it. There was some stuff about it that I always loved the Terror Tram, but it was refreshing not having it, especially because we got three new mazes.
We got 2 mazes in its place, which honestly they were good, and I was happy with the trade-off.
They were 2 very good mazes, but see, I was pissed because that was the first time I ever came out to Halloween Horror Nights on the West Coast, and I wanted to see the Terror Tram.
Sucks to suck.
Just watch the videos online. Come on,
I know.
Be like the rest of us.
But the Terror Tram, like the tram tour in general, is like a highlight of the park. So I was pretty excited about Terror Tram. But
you're not wrong.
No, and it's cool because you get off and walk around the sets. But yeah, I'm sure they'll bring it back eventually. It's not going to be gone forever. So.
No.
Speaking of that, didn't they just get rid of the Whoville?
They smashed that trap real quick.
Whoa!
With the Whovilles in it, the Whoville people in it.
Citizens of Whoville.
Citizens of Whoville were smashed alongside.
Dude, I just thought about this right now. How are they going to do those escalators with social distancing? How's that going to work?
They'll have people standing there like you have to wait 10 seconds before.
Okay, go.
You gotta wait 10 minutes till the guy gets to the bottom of it in front of you.
It's like a water slide at a water park. It's the same thing.
It's like trying to get on the fucking highway in LA. You guys have we don't have those damn.
Oh yeah.
It's so weird to me out there.
On ramp.
Yeah, you guys have like lights.
Yeah, you got them dumbass lights.
Yeah.
They ain't dumbass when you need them.
We probably should have them here in Florida, but
true. It actually does help a lot.
I actually think Gabe was onto something though. If you just scrap the escalators and make it the world's biggest like slip and slide, that
Oh.
might be a way to deal with this.
A gigantic slide.
Is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, with bleach, filled with bleach.
Oh,
Wait a
so they get
minute.
clean
Yeah,
as they go down.
yeah, so they get cleaned as they go down.
That
You
makes
get a
sense.
refreshing
Frogs
beverage
Beach.
and a bath.
Is
Yeah.
this your guys' Volcano Bay?
I would say so. Oh, you weigh 103 pounds? Sorry, I can't go on this. My bad.
Sorry, sir. This is like 5 Walmart slip and slides with like 4 staples holding it together. So
You're really not gonna make this last for the rest of the season, so we're gonna have to make you take the stairs.
So getting back to the question, like like a couple serious answers I have tried to think of is like, so like limited capacity, I would think for the events, but also like, hey, maybe this is an opportunity for instead of Halloween Horror Nights with their conga lines and stuff like that, like maybe we get smaller limited groups, like individuals going through the houses, like, hey, let's try to focus on some positives. Maybe this will make the event scarier, I guess.
Yeah.
Like you might get some more one-on-one, but then again, like I don't know how they're going to handle like characters jumping into your personal space to scare you. I'm not sure how that stuff's going to work. So I think some heavy modifications would be in place if this all does happen. I don't know. What do you guys think? How are you guys feeling about all this?
I definitely don't think social distancing scares are going to be conducive to a scary environment. But I definitely am one to be hopeful and positive about the outcome of the season, and I want it to happen. And like all of us sitting here, we all love the Halloween season and we love everything that kind of comes with it, because not only do we associate getting scared with these kinds of events, but we're talking about friends, family, people we don't often see throughout the rest of the year. So the idea of not having that, is the idea of not being able to see family and friends during that season. But I would hope that they would figure out a way to make it work. Like you said, limiting capacity, limiting the amount of people that go through the attraction with you. If that means monsters have to wear a mask underneath their mask or not, or include, this is as silly as it sounds, including a mask into their design so that they're not breathing on people. I don't know. It's just something that we've never really had to deal with. It's something we've never really had to consider when putting it into designs for attractions or even scare zones. So it's hard for me to even fathom the concept of having to figure out how to execute these plans with that in mind. The realist in me says that it's probably not going to happen this year. I mean, if that's the way it is, and that's the way it is, and I'd rather people be safe and healthy than sacrifice people just so that I have entertainment from one of these events. But that my heart wants it to happen really bad.
Would you guys be willing? I mean, I think we're all nutty enough about this kind of stuff. Like, would you guys be willing to go through? See, like, there's a lot of talk about like temperature checks or like tests for the virus, and I'm just not sure how accurate all that is. But like,
well, yeah,
as long as it's a probe, as long as it's an anal
you're for
probe,
it?
then I'm for
Okay.
it.
I'm telling you guys, blinky cup full of Clorox. But seriously, Kenny, we literally just talked about this on Grim Grinning Host last night with me and Brad, and just the problem is that even if you're doing like a temperature check or something like that, you could totally be asymptomatic.
Yeah, it's not accurate.
It could be sitting there. And like the fact of the matter is, to be perfectly honest, I don't 100% know the Hollywood timetable, but I have a hard time imagining that they're going to completely redesign houses that were being put together over a year ago and have
Completely
already
agree.
started construction or being built to accommodate for these distances. And quite honestly, at least for here on the East Coast, it's our 30th anniversary. And if it comes down to having a pushback or a cancellation versus a butchered kind of and a neutered event, then I would much rather just
push
it out.
Much rather wait. Yeah, that's what I said to Gabe earlier. Like, to have the quality event for it, especially the 30th, I'd rather wait a year.
Yeah, and I mean, we all know that they're building. I know that Scary Farm is building. I know that Halloween Horror Nights is building on both coasts. If anything, what they're doing is that they're building now so that they could say, "Oh, hey, we've already built it. Here's how we can improve so that if they do end up canceling, they bring it back next year. They already have it all done. They know how to put it back into that space. It isn't a brand new maze that they're putting in there, and they have to figure it out. They can improve possibly over into the next year, but who knows? Who knows?
100%. Like construction for us started in January, like forever
it's insane.
ago.
It's insane.
But like something that you've also got to consider, it's less of an issue for something like Not Scary Farm, but when you're talking about Halloween Horror Nights, which is very IP heavy, there's some really cool stuff supposedly on the slate for this year that if we do have a pushback or a cancellation, I just hope that we can retain those rights so we do get to see those cool properties.
Let's also be real. Florida's a lot more lax than California about all this.
Yeah,
that's very true.
Yeah.
That is very, very true.
I don't think there's any world where the East Coast goes on and the West Coast doesn't, though.
You don't think so?
I
think
don't.
that's a possibility.
I think that's a possibility.
I think it is.
They're two different entities, man. Like they do two very distinctly different events. You know, Halloween Horror Nights here in Hollywood is not the Halloween Horror Nights that's there in Orlando. And although they're the same parent company of sorts, it's very clear that they don't, affect one another other than sharing maybe an IP.
I do think that, like, as far as operations, you can say that they're different, but the crossover between if Hollywood wants something and then Orlando having to fit it into their slate, that is something that's real, though.
True. That is true. But anyway, let's stop getting all downer here. Move on to the next one. It's Nikki's turn. Just spun the wheel. You got number 15. And this one is actually very fitting for you. I'm very happy for you. It's right up your alley. It includes alcohol. If you could get drunk at Epcot every day for a month straight, but had to pick only one country, which would it be?
I have a question. Are
Kenny.
you confined to just that country, or can you only drink the alcohol from that country?
I don't know. I mean, what does the word say? If you can get drunk at Epcot every day for a month straight, but had to pick only one country, which would it be? I guess that would be alcohol from only one country.
I'm gonna go with stuck. I'm gonna go. Okay, I'm gonna say.
Why does it matter?
Because if you're stuck in one country, like you can't go to any of the other countries, then that affects my answer because my drunk food would also have to come from that country.
Oh, that's a very good point.
So given the caveat that you have to stay in that country completely, I would pick Mexico because I love chips and salsa.
But there is no caveat though. You don't have to. You're not stuck in a country. It's just you can only drink from one country.
For a month, I would still pick Mexico.
Park rules.
Then why did you ask the question in the first place if the answer didn't matter?
I don't know.
I mean, park rules allow you to purchase whatever and go wherever. So you just gotta
margaritas and eat pizza.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, or chips and salsa.
For me, I would end up choosing. Was it England, the UK area? Yeah. Just because I like the pub because it has a lot of options in there.
That's
correct choice. Yes.
So then I don't have to pick one particular drink. Because if I go to Italy, then I'll have to drink the Bellini, and I don't want a freaking Bellini like every 5 minutes.
Well, I'm good with margaritas.
My pinky will get tired from being out the entire time. Well, that's not the right country.
I know.
Not the right country at all.
That's France.
You don't want to get wine drunk for a month straight because that's just no fun.
God, no. That's wine drunk. That's not fun.
I think there's a good hearty argument to be made for Germany.
Yeah.
Well, good and hearty because beer is good and hearty. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. Whatever that.
No, stop doing that.
Say.
That's France.
God damn it, Hunter.
Who's doing that?
That's Hunter. See, I think that I would go with you, Gabe, with the UK, or since that's already been taken, I would probably say Morocco because they have a full liquor bar.
But I was in Morocco the last time, not the real country. The service was god awful in the restaurant I was in. Like the freaking people behind the counter were like tickling each other and like running around.
Oh my god, it was
I was
terrible.
like, what the hell is that?
Did you guys walk in on like some underground like ring? Like what was happening?
I don't know. It was raining and I went in to get food and it took like 10 minutes for them to even get to me because they were like fussing behind the counter, like playing with each other, doing whatever they were doing. I don't know what was going on. I was thoroughly. I felt like I was in a different country. Okay, yes, it's exactly right. They were just doing that behind the counter the entire time.
I just like going to that. I like going to that bar because every time I go there, they always pour the drink super strong. So they usually get my my pick, especially if I'm passing right by it, I'll stop there because, like I said, they just pour them super strong. I don't know if it's
plus by the time you reach Morocco, like you're all the way at the back fuck end of that, so like you want to stop and take a break.
I will
Right.
also say, in defense of the Mexico Pavilion, last time I was in there, I had some sort of like, what the hell was it? It was like a horchata margarita or something
What?
crazy.
That
It
sounds
was
dope.
it was
Ooh.
nuts. Somebody told me it's like not on the
That
menu
sounds
anymore. It's
disgusting to me.
something that used to be there,
Ah,
and they
man.
told me to ask for it, and I did, and it was outstanding.
We can make
So-
our own. Let's make our own.
See,
we
I don't
can-
like I don't like tequila, so Mexico
neither,
wouldn't work
Travis.
for me.
Yeah, I'm not a huge tequila fan either.
Oh, I love tequila,
It's tequila. It's called tequila.
Yeah.
but it doesn't.
Yeah,
Kill me.
no, it kills me. Yes, it does.
Yeah, to you it does. Yes.
Wait, could you
What?
imagine though, like a scenario where you had to be trapped in this pavilion for a month straight? Like if you were stuck in Mexico getting drunk and riding the three
Three
caballeros
Caballeros.
over and over and over.
Pretty fun
Yes.
though, since everything's right there.
Sombrero of Donald is just like following you around.
I can't wait to be detained for being the drunk guy outside of the what was it? The Beatles rock guy, the Revolution rock or whatever it was.
Hunter would
like
be
a
that person climbing the fucking Mexico Pavilion.
See, the thing is that what will be keeping you within the bounds of that country? Is it a security guard or a shot caller that doesn't allow you to go outside the bounds of that country?
And are the French controlling it?
Mariachi band that follows you around.
Every time they go to push the button,
Okay, moving on. It is my turn to spin the wheel, and I got number 16. Number 16 is Lightning Rod at Dollywood is just about to launch. What do you yell loudly that would scare others watching you on the ride? Oh man, I don't know. That one's a rough one, and I thought of that.
I have an answer.
Oh god. I didn't even think about this one because I honestly was like, I probably won't get it. But I got it. They play the brown note before you drop. I don't know. Yell something like
You
that.
scream.
Yeah.
Is this bolt supposed to go somewhere?
You just hold up a wrench. You're like, what? You're just like confused looking at it.
So you're on the ride?
You're on the ride. Yeah.
Oh, just yell that you're about to barf or something.
That's so boring.
No, it's not boring because everyone's gonna get hit by your barf.
No, but you're supposed to be scaring the people who are like watching you on the ride.
Yeah,
Well, it
your
depends
barf
on if
is
you're in the
gonna
front
fall.
row or
I
not.
guess so. Okay, I guess it depends on what row you're in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barf is threatening.
Is it now?
Yeah.
Depends on how you barf, I guess. If it's like a, bleh, it's not very threatening, is it? Oh, bleh.
Oh my god.
How is Lightning Rod gonna work these days? Like it's gonna take off and everybody's fucking masks are just gonna blow off and it's gonna be a mess.
They are attaching gas masks to each headrest, so you just loop it over the top of your face and then tie it on.
Like a goddamn TIE fighter pilot. Fucking mask on.
Has anybody here actually been to Dollywood? That's a park I want to go
have.
to so bad. Oh yeah, Travis.
I've been on Lightning Rod. It's
Holy
fucking
shit.
intense.
It looks crazy.
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
it's pretty fucking intense, especially when you go. What the hell do they call those? Like double downs or whatever, where you're going down the side of the mountain. Kenny's the fucking coaster
Bro,
guy.
that shit's got like a quadruple
Or
down.
triple downs. Yeah, it's fucking intense, man. It throws you the fuck around. Like it's not even cool about it either. Like it's not I wouldn't say it's uncomfortable, but it's not comfortable. You kind of feel like you're gonna come out of that thing. But I
Yep,
guess that's
I-
kind of what those terrain hybrid type coasters are supposed to do to you. So yeah, it's
Not-
freaking
not
awesome,
very-
It
man.
makes you feel like you're gonna die, is what they do.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
It is not very gentlemanlike. It'll
It does not hold
No,
up. To the
no.
toss you around. Yeah.
Okay. Moving on. I think we're back to Travis. You got number 21. Number 21 says, you're swimming at Disney's Typhoon Lagoon and scream after seeing something floating in the water. What
Oh.
did you see?
Oh, I got this.
It's a turd.
No, it's just a candy bar.
It's a baby Ruth. What were
I-
you gonna say, Kenny?
Well, I was at Hurricane Harbor at Six Flags one day, and I mean, I know this is obviously no comparison, Six Flags and Disney, but there were straight up like dirty band-aids and shit floating around.
Ugh. Gross.
He just screams out, AIDS!
No, that's when you see a condom floating in the water.
Yeah, that would be gross. That would be way too. That would ruin my day. That would just be like, yeah, I'm good. Going home.
A turd would ruin your
Deuces.
day.
No, because no, turds don't bother me.
Could you imagine being the poor kid who gets the reveal that they were born in like the shark exhibit at Typhoon Lagoon? Conceived, rather. I mean, but still,
you're just like floating around with your family, having fun. Son, you were conceived right there, right there,
right next to the Nautilus,
right over there. I am in the spot where I was conceived.
Oh my god.
Dude, water parks are nasty.
No, they're disgusting. They're like cesspools.
Yeah.
I try my best because I really truly want to like water parks, but if you even just think for a second, it's disgusting.
It's really gross.
Yeah, you can't think about it.
Especially like that, like hot tubs. That's just basically human soup. Like, no, I don't want to go in that. Why am I going to be in a living, breathing Bugs Bunny cartoon right now? It's like some cartoon character's going to come and start cutting carrots and throwing them in. Like, I'm not down for that.
I think what would really scare me is like looking over my shoulder and seeing this like non-moving white rock, and then it surfaces and it's just Lee Malaby.
It's just bald head.
It's just the top of his head. And like the worst part is you can't even swim away because he comes up and the sunlight just reflects and blinds you. He's like a really shitty X-Men, is what I'm saying.
Poor Lee. Poor guy. I love him to death.
He's my favorite albino.
We're all becoming albinos now, having been stuck indoors all the time.
I am
Nikki literally just looked down at her skin.
I looked at
Nikki's
my
like,
arm.
am I an albino now?
Checking.
My God.
I'm good, guys. I'm good.
Don't worry, guys. I know you guys were stressed a little bit and breathing a little heavily, but Nikki is totally fine.
I still have all my freckles.
Yes, you still have all your freckles.
You can draw them on now.
I could.
TikTok has really changed the game for all of us.
I have too many. If I added, some people wouldn't even notice.
Dun, dun, dun.
My eyelids have freckles. Yes, my eyelids have too many freckles to count. I have a lot of freckles. Okay.
Okay, moving on. From your freckles.
Stop. Let's just move on. I should get more wine.
No, you shouldn't.
Okay, fine.
Okay, moving on. And now it is Hunter's turn. And you just got number 9. Whose design aesthetic was your favorite from concept art? This was a listener question.
Design aesthetic from... I'm probably actually going to go with Claude Coates. I really like a lot of his original designs on a lot of the classic Disney animated films, which, we've talked about a lot on Disorder. But additionally, when I think of Claude Coates, I think of those wonderfully atmospheric drawings that he did for the Haunted Mansion, and kind of the blending of that very atmospheric horror element along with the more cartoony characters that Mark Davis created is really what makes the Haunted Mansion what it is, right? But because I'm a spooky guy at heart, I think I'm going to go with that, actually.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if we're all kind of in the same headspace here, because my mind immediately went to Mark Davis. Mark Davis's concept art, even from Haunted Mansion to Pirates of the Caribbean, were incredibly done. I love his art style, but also they were just very easy to understand. The goofy kind of sense of humor that he had, but the way he drew things, it was easily translatable regardless of what language you spoke. And I thought that was pretty incredible what he was able to do on both attractions. A name I do want to throw into the ring here, even though a lot of it didn't ever come to fruition, at least in large scale, was Raleigh Crump. Raleigh Crump's artwork is very, very unique. And one of the things that he did that at least stands out in my mind that I really wish I got to see come to fruition and to scale was the Candleman that he drew for the Haunted Mansion. It was kind of like it was for like the Museum of the Bizarre and the Weird. And it was just a man made of candles melting. And it's just such a bizarre image to see. And to have seen that placed in the Haunted Mansion would have been a very haunting image.
Yeah, 100%. And just kind of go off of, because you and I both mentioned Mark Davis at this time. Even Mark Davis's stuff, like I legitimately love the Country Bear Jamboree just because those are real life cartoon characters brought to life from his initial design concept to the figures that are actually there. But even then, talking about the Western River Expedition, the planned expansion for Frontierland that we never got for Walt Disney World because we got a shitty version of Pirates instead. You know, it is what it is. But yeah, Mark Davis, of course, like you can't leave him out, even if he's wrong about
Travis?
Phantom Manor.
I got nothing on this one. All I know is I wish I could draw better. I can't draw shit. I can't even draw like stick figures. I'll fuck up a stick figure.
Is that his arm or leg? It's both. Okay, I guess that's cool. I guess cool. If nobody else has anything to say, then we will be moving on. Kenny, you got number 13. You also got another very calm one. Do you want me to respin it and just give you a fun one? Because I'm more than happy to do it.
I'll take it if it's calm. If it's another downer.
It's not a downer. It's definitely not a downer. It's literally the opposite of downer. Oh. It is an upper. It's like you just took drugs.
Oh.
And your heartbeat is going 10 million miles an hour.
So we're back at ET then.
That's
right. Actually, all it says is ET. So I mean, I guess it's just talk about ET. I don't know. No, number 13 is, what is your best memory from a theme park?
Oh,
it was watching All American Rejects at Mardi Gras during 2017.
Man, I guess I have to go. This is gonna sound kind of cheesy and corny, but like I'll have to go more recent because I mean I got a lot of like fantastic like nostalgic memories from when I was younger or like first times going to parks. But
yeah,
I got to be honest, it's cliche, but it's true. Like when you start going places with your kids, it's a game changer.
Oh, dude.
Oh yeah,
dude.
And
yeah,
like when we went to Disneyland, like I had not been to Disneyland until last year, and we went with he's 3.5 now, so he was coming up on 3 years old. So like he's just kind of coming online right now, and he's starting to like,
he wasn't really online before,
you know.
I mean, we get it. We have a 1.5-year-old. She's not all there.
Right.
Yeah, she's not all there.
You know, it starts getting to the point after a couple of years where, you know, like fortunately we okay, so as a parental decision, a lot of people try to figure out like, oh, is it worth taking your kids to the parks before they even are old enough to know what's going on? And I will always make the argument, yes, it is. Like
free.
They're gonna have fun. Yes, they're free. That's a huge plot point right there. But like the memories that you're going to make being there with them is fantastic and absolutely unforgettable. But like once they start going, if they've been going like once a year to Disney since the time they were born, like after a few years, like they start connecting the dots and they start remembering and they start getting excited and they start like realizing, oh, this character I watched on the, you know, in a movie is right here in front of me. And just to watch that sort of excitement wash over like a 3-year-old is like, oh boy, that's like suddenly you find yourself not caring at all what you do in a theme park all day long as they're having fun, and it's crazy.
Yeah, we can so relate. I mean, we just took Erin. How old was she when we went to California Adventure and saw Mickey? She was.
You talking about not this most recent visit, but the one
the one before it.
I would say she was probably 8 months.
9 months.
8, 9 months?
I'd say like 9 months. At 9 months, like we even started to get a glimpse of that because she was like having a whatever day. You know, she was little. You know, she was slept half the day,
doing nothing.
But then she saw Mickey, and oh
she
my
lost
god,
her shit, dude.
she freaked the F out. Like, and she's only 9 months, and she's like looking over my shoulder, like, let me at him. Oh my god, like she like lost her mind. And you know, things like that yeah, she's not going to remember, but we have video of it and we're going to remember and cherish that memory forever. I'm going to remember riding on King Arthur's carousel with her and having her fall asleep on my lap like mid ride. You know, it's great memories. So I completely agree. It's all about once you have them, it's all about the kids. I mean, Gabe proposed to me at Disneyland.
Yeah.
You know, but honestly, and that's wonderful. It's a great memory.
Oh yeah, it's great.
No, but honestly, Erin memories trumpet. You have to admit, Erin memories trumpet a little bit.
Erin's a trumpet?
Erin's memories trumped the proposal memory.
Oh, gotcha. I was very confused by your statement, but yes, I understand what you're saying.
I'm sorry for saying a naughty word.
Trump?
Yes.
Oh, that's fine. No, but yes, I do agree, and that was something I was going to bring up as well. Is that I did propose to Nikki at Disneyland, so that is a fantastic memory. But you are correct; these memories that we're creating now with Erin in our last visit, she's 1.5 at this point. We went, and she's been watching Monsters Inc. since she was like really small.
Yeah. It's the first time the light bulb went on a ride.
Yeah,
Like,
she was walking through the line and she saw things, and I could tell that the hamster was running at that point because she wasn't babbling, she wasn't making noises, she was quiet, just staring at things,
taking it all in.
taking it in, analyzing things. Once we got around the corner and saw Mike and Celia in the car, her eyes got wide, and that was the moment of realization, like, it's real.
Mhm.
You know what? I actually have a really good crossroads of something that my kid and I also, like, at the same time experience like pure exhilaration. He is a massive, massive fan of the Cars franchise. Like, he watches those movies like crazy. And when we walked into Radiator Springs, like, I don't know who was more excited, like the 3-year-old and him, or like the theme park nerd and me seeing Radiator Springs for the first time. Because honestly, Radiator Springs and like the Radiator Springs Racers ride, like that.
Oh, it's amazing.
It quite honestly is maybe the best ride I've ever been on. Like, it's that good. It's so good. And I don't know
what Reza who now.
Well, I have not been on that yet, so
that's true.
I can't comment. But
sorry.
But that was a really good memory because, like, not only was it this thing that he's been watching since he was born, literally, like obsessively, to see it come to life for him, and then for me to just be like, holy Christ, this is the most, like, maybe the best land I've ever seen, and like one of the best rides I've ever been on. It's so good. So that was like seeing that area was a really good theme park memory for me.
Hunter, Travis, anything for this one?
I mean, I can echo y'all's sentiments and say childhood stuff. I got a lot of memories of childhood stuff, but I think one more recent memory, which Hunter is actually involved, was actually, it was like a good and a bad day. It was kind of an ironic day, but like when we waited, what did we wait, 11 fucking hours for Hagrid's? I think that's a very fond memory that I remember because it was such a crazy fucking day from beginning to end. I mean, we literally woke up at the ass crack of dawn. What did we wake up, like 5-6 o'clock in the morning to go wait in that line, and it was just one of the longest days ever. But it was fun because we were with friends.
And the fact that we did get to ride. Unfortunately, not everybody who waited that day made the cut, but we did after 3 different downtimes that were storm related and everything like that. And just not, him and I purposefully avoided any sort of media for Hagrid because we just wanted to experience the attraction completely fresh on opening day. And yeah, that's a great one. And of course, one that comes to mind, I'm going to shout out our good mutual friend, Connor, hitting the floor in the Poltergeist house during Halloween Horror Nights 28. I've never seen such a big man just cower in fear like that. And, it really changed my life forever.
There's always something very life-changing about watching somebody get that scared.
Yeah, I'm not religious. I'm not religious. I'm not religious, but I did see God that day. So, like, that's all that matters.
Okay, moving on. Nikki, this is your turn. You got number 14.
Okay.
This one is, would you be willing to let a troll fart glitter in your face for an unlimited express pass for the day?
Yes.
I'm assuming that would be at Universal, yes.
Yes, that's an easy yes.
But depends on how close, like nose to hole. That's how close it is.
But it's just glitter.
I never said there was anything else. It's a fart
so
glitter, but I don't know what else is in that fart.
I will walk around with a glittery face, even if it smells like shit, all day for unlimited fast pass.
What if he shits a little, like on accident? Like it's not intended, but like just a little bit.
I'll just
like you prairie dog, so it comes out, gives you a little kiss on the nose, and then it goes back in.
I'll just drink my bleach and then move on with my day.
Drink bleach and move on. That's the new saying with the kids now, right? I'm just drinking my bleach, moving on.
Yeah.
Huh,
we We started with the millennials and Gen Z with the Tide Pods, and now we've really come full circle with the older generation. So,
yeah, I would not let a troll fart in my face for an unlimited express.
Unlimited express
No,
passes.
yeah, I'm not willing to do that.
Glitter.
I have self.
It's just glitter.
I have self-respect, Nikki.
Okay.
oh, I'm right there with you,
You know,
Nikki.
I think if Gabe was in that situation, I think that he would change his tune real fast. Like if it was real life, I think he would let the troll fart in his face.
Okay.
I'm calling
Unlimited express pass for horror nights would that change your?
Oh yeah, if it was horror nights. Oh yeah, I would let him
If
fart
you're
my
in it, you
face
would
all
let him
day.
do a lot
That's-
more than fart glitter.
That's actually very
Yeah,
true.
that
I would
is
let him do a lot more than just fart.
No. The Horror Nights one, you have to lay flat, and he literally just shits on your chest.
Wait, do I get cling wrap on my chest, or is it just straight
No,
on?
absolutely nothing.
Oh,
Just
God.
bring a spare
Yeah.
shirt.
They will
I'm good.
give you $20 to replace the shirt. You're still gonna have to pay $10.
Well, this kind of begs the question, like, what does a troll turd look like?
It's
I
definitely
think it's so
glittery.
sparkles. Yeah,
It's glittery, so it probably wouldn't be too wet.
it's like
Yeah.
rainbow.
Also, like, at what point does a troll fart become offensive? Like, how close do I need to be? Do you have to be like nose in the troll's
Yeah.
asshole,
It said
or
nose
like
in.
how?
It's the quote of the episode.
Yeah, that's going to be the title of the episode. At what point does a troll's fart become offensive?
You have to
Episode
feel the wind on your face.
whatever.
What does this change depending on how the troll does it? Like, if you're laying flat and he farts on you, is that different, or would you prefer to be on your knees and then in the butthole, or like?
Yeah,
But
because at some point you start losing like
dignity.
dignity. Yeah, like dignity comes into play. It's not just like, oh yeah, a troll just fucking farted in my face. It's like you got to be on your knees to make it happen.
Okay. Well, also, I guess it begs the question: is that if we're actually talking about a real live troll, are we talking about the size of the troll being the size of them from the films? Or are we talking about
No,
The
the
character.
troll being
Theme park character.
theme
troll.
park
The meet and
character
greet,
size troll?
Yeah,
full
meet and
size
greet.
human. Yeah.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
It's like
That's
a Hagrid sized troll.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, moving on. I got number 18, and that is you sit down and enjoy the Hall of Presidents at Epcot. But instead of the normal show, the presidents now do what? I think Lincoln, Washington, and Nixon all get into a version of the Humpty Dance by Digital Underground. That is, and if you are listening and don't know what song I'm talking about, just play it on YouTube and then also just play the Hall of Presidents without any audio, and then just watch them together.
Are they
So,
also wearing the Humpty like
Washington
nose?
Washington is, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gabe, I gotta ask you: is the reason for the rebranding because Hall of Presidents is in Epcot now?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
100%.
understood.
Oh, sorry. Oh, you're totally. You caught it. My mess up in Magic Kingdom.
Did you say Epcot?
Yeah, I said Epcot. It's because I mixed up Hall of Presidents and I mixed up that and the American Adventure. Thank you for pointing out my mishap, because I guarantee you that if I didn't fix that, I would have lost a lot of subscribers there.
They're already rapidly heading, so let's recover it. So what I would do is I would actually scrap the whole thing and copy Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln from Disneyland, but instead of an inspirational speech, it's a 20-second vignette where it's just the Lincoln assassination just on repeat.
Oh my god!
That got dark real quick.
With realistic
with you.
water effects. Like
Like,
it
I
just-
Oh, no.
Like Sweeney Todd, like the actual play, like just how much.
But it's you. But you. No. I'm not with that one.
I was
No.
with you, and I was really excited. I was like, "Oh yeah, I like this," and then you took a turn, and I was like, "Oh no!"
A lot of Hunter's things just take a left turn at some point and just become very dark.
It's the Lincoln assassination 4D experience, and I really hope you guys all come.
That's horrible.
When you walk in, they're like, "Do you want a table or do you want a John Wilkes Booth?"
Oh, but rim shot for Hunter. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. That's a show, folks. Kenny or Travis?
I like the Humpty Dance.
I would demolish it and build something better.
What would that be, though?
Lincoln assassination in 4D.
That's right. That's it.
If there are no other options on the table.
So no, we would demolish it and build another Pirates, but also take out more of what makes it good. Just take out even more.
Take
And
out the
just have
drops.
Yeah, take out the drops, and then you also just take out. You actually don't make it better. Just take out all of the Johnny Depps out of the entire situation.
Oh, okay.
Have a Hall of Presidents, but instead of presidents, they're all Johnny Depp.
Impersonating the various presidents.
Impersonating the presidents.
And instead of speaking, they just go, oh, oh.
Yes, that's what they do. That is exactly what they do.
Oh man.
So, anyway, moving on to the next one, getting away from the Lincoln assassination in 4D. Travis, you got number 3. Limp Bizkit is one of the performers at Mardi Gras next year.
Oh boy.
What song will riot and burn the park down if they don't play?
I mean, I think you got to go with Nookie, right?
Break something, man. That's for me. Break something.
I don't know. I don't like Limp Bizkit, so.
I mean, I'm not a fan of Limp Bizkit either.
Hunter and Kenny, that's like their favorite band.
We need Brad here.
Yeah.
Brad would like tear things up.
You know, true story. I think if you were to rank the favorite bands of the Grim Grinning hosts, I think Limp Bizkit might come close to topping that list. I'm gonna be honest.
I think it's Limp Bizkit and then Smash Mouth.
Yeah, that's actually like actually not a joke. Like I think by average, those two bands would come out near the top. Yeah, this is definitely a GGH geared question. I'm trying to go like I'm thinking of like some deep cuts from the $3
Nelson,
like Stink Finger. No,
Jesus Christ. Really? Yeah, I'm sorry. You're alone on that one, man. I have nothing to add to this. I have zero to add to this conversation.
it's rolling.
Can we? Okay, yeah, we're rolling out here. Can we move on to the next one?
Let's do it.
Move on to the next one. Okay, Hunter. If you had to choose one park to spend the rest of your life in, what park would it be?
This is actually very easy for me, just because I've really thought about this a lot. And
Gatorland isn't.
It changes. It used to change quite frequently. It was Islands of Adventure, and then it was Magic Kingdom. But I know deep down in my heart of hearts, it's actually the Holy Land experience. There's just something beautiful about the brutality that you can only find at a Slipknot concert or the Holy Land experience. My second choice, of course, is Fun Spot in Kissimmee. And then finally, I'm going to go with Disney's Animal Kingdom. I just love Disney's Animal Kingdom so very much. It's a very special park. It's unlike anything else that you can get at any of the Disney parks. And very, very special place for me.
I love that you went with the bad Fun Spot, not even the fun, exciting one.
On 192.
Fun Spot Kissimmee is literally
the
like
kind of fun spot.
Yeah, the Fun Spot Kissimmee is about 2 minutes from my apartment right now, and the best part is that whenever I go and I'm like, kind of want KFC, which I immediately regret right after I do it. But Fun Spot is literally right behind the KFC, so I get to look at it all the time.
You get to see that it's pretty much a carnival on 192. It's what Fun Spot Kissimmee is.
Yeah, I mean, I can go to Checkers whenever I want.
Have some self-respect. Go to the one on International Drive, sir.
You know, isn't it Kissimmee? I think there's an old Bennigan's, or what used to be a Bennigan's, and now it's just,
right across the street.
Now it's just Brannigan's. Like they didn't even want to.
They just
put an R in there.
Letters.
They added an R on it.
I mean, then you have Machine Gun America right next door. So all that's right there.
So you just get to look at all that stuff while you're enjoying your park.
I went by that shit the other day. It says, "We're still open." Shoot
Why am I not shocked?
Guns.
Why am I not shocked by this?
Yeah.
I would say that I would live in Knott's Berry Farm.
Really?
Yeah, I'm living off of that Knott's fried chicken for life. Got that boysenberry butter, then you got the biscuits. I'm thinking about the food here.
Yeah,
that's really what it's about.
I was going to say that park is kind of boring.
No, you go home and stay there, sir, for a long time. It is not boring.
Dude,
It's
there's
kind
a
of.
whole town to stay in.
I mean,
Yeah, there is.
I guess it's not boring.
I'm gonna go stay with Hopwing Lee. I'm just
The
gonna
weird
stay with
thing-
Hopwing
He's
Lee.
not there.
He is there. Look for him.
The weird thing about Knott's Berry Farm is it's almost like a weird. It's almost like Dollywood almost, but like a weird cousin or something like that. I don't know how to describe it. It's very
like a mix
similar with
between
like
a regional park and a what you would assume a theme park would look like a Disneyland and a regional park. That's really what it is.
It's a regional park on steroids.
Almost.
Yeah.
I mean, with a pretty large budget.
Yeah.
I don't think it's boring, man. I think there's so much history there and so many little nooks and crannies and things you could discover and find and enjoy. And on top of that, some pretty fantastic rides that you wouldn't get bored for a very long time. With that being said, I think any park you spend in for the rest of your life, you would get bored eventually.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah, that's why
I'm having a
Animal
hard time
Kingdom.
with this one.
Kenny, can you tell us why it's Canada's Wonderland, though?
That is an outstanding park. But, actually, it's funny you say that because there's a section of Canada's Wonderland that is heavily influenced. Maybe it's just coincidental, but I found it to be heavily influenced by the park I would probably stay at, and that's Islands of Adventure.
Not a bad choice.
I love Islands of Adventure. There's so much. I mean, the music alone, like the soundtrack to Islands is I do listen to it all the time. In fact, I put it on, I pull it up on YouTube all the time and just listen to it. But
Don't
there's
lie,
so many.
You're just gonna be in line for green eggs and ham all day long, waiting for the buffalo tots. You're just gonna be sitting there all day. That's all you're gonna do.
You're not lying. You are not lying. There's also just so many. There's so many just like quiet, off the beaten path places in Islands to just chill out and just sit and relax. Man, I love that place. That's not even getting into the like world-class rides that are in that place. For scenic purposes and musical purposes alone, I think I would go Islands of Adventure.
I think that's actually quite a good choice. There's a lot of different options in that park that you could easily go kind of venture off into depending on what your mood is like.
Yeah.
You're excited, you want adventures, you go over to Marvel Superhero Island, you ride some Hulk. You want to chill out, you want to relax, you go into Jurassic Park and almost die by a dinosaur.
I have been toying with Islands of Adventure.
Really?
Yeah. But I don't know. I just keep going back to Disneyland. But honestly, what's stopping me from saying Disneyland is the lack of alcohol.
Oh, I thought it was Walt's frozen body just giving you the creeps.
No, I'm fine with that. It's the lack of alcohol.
Oh, okay. That's a
Yeah.
big difference, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you have Run of the Park, you could go to Club 33 whenever you want.
Well, it didn't say Run of the Park.
Well, I mean, you're stuck there. I mean, you could sneak in eventually. You live there for the rest of your life. You can figure out how to get in.
I can find the weaknesses eventually.
Yes, exactly. Yes, it's just like the raptor testing the fence,
Yeah, I don't know.
figuring out where the weaknesses in
I
the
don't know.
fence are.
I'm tied between Islands of Adventure and regular Disneyland.
Not bad.
I think I'm gonna go with DCA. It might be a controversial one, but I just love that park so much. I'm kind of to the point where I kind of like that park better than Disneyland right now.
It's
I just
much
think that-
open,
Yeah.
much more open.
No, yeah, we kind of agree. And without Aaron, like, we prefer DCA too, because we can ride, Mission Breakout, and there's a lot more adult things we can do.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's definitely more of an adult park.
Yeah.
I just think there's so many cool like different sight lines and just coming from like a photographer aspect, looking at that park. I just love that park so much. Like there's so many cool sight lines in there, and there's a bunch of cool it's more of an adult park, so obviously there's more of a push for alcohol and stuff like that. And I just think there's a lot of cool little places in there to hang out, and I think I could find something to do in there whenever I wanted to do it. So yeah, DC would probably be my pick.
And World of Color. World
of Color's dope.
Oh yeah.
Gabe, I just realized you wanna stay at Knott's Berry Farm because you want the Catawampus to be your pet.
Yeah, of
That's
course,
why you
dude.
want to stay there.
Yeah, of course. You kidding me? We'll snuggle up next to that Catawampus every night.
You get splinters.
Yeah, splinters. Let's not talk about where those are going to be.
Oh my God. Oh my
What?
God. You are
What?
on timeout.
What?
Uh-huh.
What? I never said anything.
You inferred it.
They're going to be on my leg because I'm snuggling up next to it, you weirdo. God. Moving on, Nikki. Jeez.
Prickly situation here.
Very prickly. Very, very much. I believe we're at Kenny now. We're not? Yes. Kenny, you finally get a fun one.
Oh.
You're at SeaWorld watching the orcas play.
Oh.
One comes up to the glass and says, what?
That's not fun.
That's totally fun.
Save me. Get me out of here.
I'll give you what you need. Just please, for the love of God.
I love SeaWorld, to be honest.
I know. I do
don't
too.
mind it. I don't mind it.
That's what the
Go
orca
Ryan,
says. I
Mako.
love SeaWorld, to be honest. Can you imagine how pissed off Huffington Post would be?
The orcas have talked. They love it here. He also said, oh, don't know why.
Beret on, comes up, swimming up to you with a little beret on, little mustache.
Little tiny mustache.
Go ride Mako.
Yeah, no, the orca swims up and he's like, I love it here at SeaWorld. It's the best. But the camera pans around him and then there's like a trainer with a gun to its head.
Oh.
Forcing it to say things.
It's sad.
Oh.
But the guy holding the gun is also wearing a beret and has a mustache as well.
Oh my God.
I like to think the orcas come up to the glass, look at the nearby humans, and they're just like, just like Mom used to eat.
Ah.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
I've never been to SeaWorld in San Diego. Is that park any good?
It's okay.
It's okay.
To be fairly honest, it's okay.
I mean, I went for the first time like a few years ago, and for like a first time visit, like we had a lot of fun, but I don't think it would be a place where I could go regularly.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's kind of a park that you would want to go with kids that are between the ages of like 5 and 10. Because there's a lot of things that you can put your hands in and touch, the wading pools and stuff like touch fish, or like there's the ones where the fish come up and eat all the dead skin off your hands and whatever food is left on it and stuff.
And I would definitely splurge on the upcharges. Like we did the experience where you got to like go behind the scenes and hang out with the what were they, sea lions?
Yeah.
And that was super fun. And you can do one with penguins, and there's a whole bunch of them. So I'd say at least one or two of those.
Isn't SeaWorld San Diego the one where they have to have all the roller coasters super low because of the sight line thing?
Yeah.
That's exactly it. They just built Electric Eel, and they're also building another coaster here, which I think once they start building a few more rides, I think it's going to be a pretty good park to go visit.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot more fun than it is now.
I get the feeling it sounds a lot like, because I just went to SeaWorld San Antonio last year, and it sounds a lot like what you guys are describing. Like the Orlando SeaWorld it's like legitimately a really good park, I would say. Like it's an absolutely beautiful park, but it's also like
really... Shout out to their food festival too. That Seven Seas Food Festival. I think they have some of the best food. Yeah, they have some of the best food theme park food in the area. Like I think it blows like Food and Wine away. Like it does. Their culinary food is their whoever's doing all their food. Their main chef there is awesome. And yeah, that's a if you ever get to go out to SeaWorld while they're doing that food festival, it's really good. And they also have the lanyard that you can get is a really good deal too. So yeah, that Seven Seas is awesome.
Yeah, when I was a kid, we got to go to SeaWorld every now and again. We actually did a lot of field trips out there because I grew up in Orange County, which was about an hour away, so it's not super far. We actually did one where we got to spend the night at SeaWorld, and our group got to spend the night in the Shark Tank tunnel. So they just the walkways. The walkways in the middle, and then there's like that little kind of portion off to the side that they put us all in on our sleeping bags. And I remember just laying there and opening my eyes in the middle of the night, and there was just a shark just sitting there staring at me. It's like, God, no! If this broke, I'd be so screwed.
What did he say to you, Gabe? That's the question. What did he say to you?
If the glass broke, he would be screwed. You'd be fine.
Why would he would eat me? The entire tunnel would be flooded.
He couldn't breathe.
He'd be worried about living. Not about his
would fill up with water.
Yeah, the whole
tunnel would fill up with water.
I guess so.
Then I have to worry about living.
Glass tunnel.
That's true.
Yeah, I would be done for. Anyway.
We'd probably both be done for.
That's true.
He'd eat you on his way to death. I don't know.
One last meal.
You guys all watch Free Willy as kids?
Yeah.
Yes.
This whole conversation makes me want to go watch it. It's on Disney Plus, I think.
Is
It might be.
It might be one of those
Kenny's
things.
gonna go watch some
coming
Free
soon.
Willy after this. What the fuck? Talk about SeaWorld and Kenny wants to watch fucking Free Willy.
Free Willy has the best videos, and right now the premium's free, so that's like awesome.
What's that song Michael Jackson did for Free Willy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah.
Got it.
I know what you're talking about, and I can hear it in my head, but I just can't hum it.
I can see him on the rocks. Wasn't he on the rocks?
Yeah, he was on the
Yeah.
rocks and putting his hand up in the air.
Yeah.
It's like the
What the
whale jumped
fuck?
over him.
Yeah.
And the whale's tail just
It was
smacks
it
him in
was
the face.
Will You Be There?
Yeah.
Did you
something
just
like
look it
that.
up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't hear the typing?
Yeah, I did. You think Hunter has that kind of music knowledge?
Do you think I just like know fucking whale movie soundtracks?
I do. I do.
I should have
do.
gone whale, whale, whale. Look what we have here.
Oh.
So, fun fact, because I know this. So, not only is it the longest song in Michael Jackson's solo discography, it peaked at number 2 in New Zealand, and the top 10 in Belgium, Canada, Ireland, the Netherlands, Switzerland, and the United Kingdom. And the United States has sold 1 million copies and stayed in the top 10 for 10 weeks. And it peaked at
What's
number
your favorite
7 and
track?
it went platinum.
Oh
Yep.
God! I was hoping you wouldn't give me that one. You
I
know
was
I'm not
joking, I'm
musically inclined. Oh,
I
you
was-
weren't really
I was
gonna
just-
give it to me?
No, I didn't. I just wanted to cut him off with all this Free Willy
Oh,
knowledge.
okay. Well, I don't want that one. So give me another one. Is
Okay.
it my turn?
Yes, it's
All
your
right,
turn.
okay.
Mike.
Oh my god. Anyway,
Give me another.
thank
one.
you for so much information that we didn't need.
No problem. Jennifer Hudson performed the song at his
Okay, moving on.
memorial service in 2009.
Nikki, what is your thoughts on Diz Twitter drama?
Oh boy.
Give us a
Oh.
little. Give us your insight on Diz Twitter drama.
You couldn't have picked a worse person for this. I'm barely on Twitter.
So you're enough on Twitter.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not.
Fine. Do you want me to just give you another one because I think that's unfair to the rest of the group?
Fine, that's my answer, and I say I have no thoughts. Everyone else can chime in now. You? Why
Fine.
would I never on Twitter?
Say
I'm
what
on
the wheel
Twitter.
landed
I'm on Twitter when you at me on something, and then I respond.
When I literally force you to
Yes.
respond.
That is when I'm on Twitter.
To be perfectly honest, like I just try not to get involved. Like I try not to interact with people that don't directly interact with me. And like, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I get feisty sometimes. Like if somebody just like comes for me out of nowhere, then I'll clap back, and I've gotten blocked because of stuff like that. But yeah, I try to stay out of it. I stick in my little spooky corner of Twitter, and like we're all pretty happy over there. We're all
Yeah, I
kind
mean-
of depressed.
I mean,
but, you know.
honestly, like I've blocked Walt Disney World News Today and I've blocked TPR because I was so tired of constantly seeing posts of defending or fighting who's right, who's wrong. I'm this, I'm that, I do this, I want this.
I thought you were gonna say
Constant
you
back
you-
and forth.
I thought you were gonna say you blocked Walt Disney World.
Yeah,
I
I'm tired of their
personally blocked
nonsense.
Goddamn
talking
Walt
about
Disney World.
all the shit. I don't know. I'm just tired of them. No, man. I just block them immediately. It's just shut up. Enjoy theme parks, would you? Can we just all get along? Like we all enjoy the same thing. Who cares? Like
You know,
seriously, who cares if
Twitter-
Rob Alvey goes wee on a roller coaster? Who cares? Let him. It's a free world. Does that mean it gives him the right to be a dick to people? No, of course not. He gets everything he deserves for that. But nobody has to go out of the way to be a dick to everybody. Just being good people. That's my thought. That's my 2 cents.
Twitter, it's normally a cesspool of negativity to begin with. These days, it's unbearable. I normally would like Diz Twitter drama. Basically, I'll log in and open up Twitter and see a bunch of it going on, and I'm out right away. It's unbearable. It's
Like
bad.
his Twitter drama is a few stupid assholes that think they're like funny or snarky online, like on Twitter, and then when
Just
people
dicks.
respond to them, they I don't know, they just don't know how to respond. So it's either like saying something stupid or just blocking somebody, I guess. I don't know. I don't interact with those people. I just
This
think it's
sounds
stupid.
oddly specific.
What do you mean?
Yes, I'm talking about you.
Oh.
Kenny.
Oh. We're
No,
just
there
all
is
talking about each other.
There is one specific person that I am talking about.
Yeah.
And he stirs the pot by just fucking drama all the time.
We could talk about it off the air.
Okay.
Sound good? Sound good? Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Next one. Kind of regret putting that question on there.
You can cut the whole question.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna leave it in.
I
don't care. I don't care. Moving on. Next question. My favorite attraction music. I feel like I would hate myself if I didn't say Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow from Carousel Progress.
Yeah.
I would hate myself if I didn't choose that. It was the time between that and One Little Spark, because I just enjoy Figment.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to go with Ocean Trader Market from the Islands of Adventure music loop. It's just so good.
It is actually a very good music loop. I played it not too long ago on the TV because we play music.
Yeah.
We play Disney or like theme park music loops on our TV while we eat dinner.
During
that actually was one of them, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, I've only been to Islands of Adventure once, so it's hard for me to kind of recall it from memory. But once I heard it, I was like, okay, I remember what this is, and I really enjoy it.
I'd say Soarin's a good one.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
The original Soarin'.
The
Soarin'
original.
Over California.
Yeah, the original Soarin' Over California is a good one.
There's so much fantastic John Williams music in the parks.
I was going to say like Harry Potter, but that's kind of like not even the attraction music. That's just the Harry Potter music.
Yeah, it's hard because like it's because
yeah,
like you said, like a lot of John Williams music, but I mean like you have Indiana Jones music, you have Harry Potter music,
Star Wars,
Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
there's so much.
So why don't we just say John Williams is our favorite?
Yeah, we'll just say John Williams. Yeah, I like that. I'm good with that.
I always get the Spider-Man, like whatever that crazy like dubstep version of the Spider-Man theme song. I always get that stuck in my head forever. I'm not saying it's my favorite. I'm just saying.
Well,
it's an earworm.
Well, speaking of Spider-Man, he happens to be making cameo in the next question. That's for Travis. Travis. Fuck, Marry, Kill. The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man. Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure.
Oh, no.
And Men in Black Alien Attack.
Fuck MIB, marry Hagrid's, and kill Spider-Man.
What?
Yep, that's what I was thinking.
Whoa. Was actually not expected.
Yeah. No, I'd have to kill Spider-Man too.
Well, you were divorced now.
Yeah, sorry.
He's into that kinky alien stuff.
That big old mouth you go into. Yeah.
I mean, you gotta snuggle with Hagrid, right? That's Mary.
So Mary, yes.
Marry him.
Same.
Honestly, I'm gonna be controversial. I'm not a huge fan anymore of Men in Black, so I'm gonna kill that one. And then what was the other one? I forgot what.
Spider-Man.
It doesn't even matter what the other one is. He's just killing Men in Black.
Yeah, he's just killing Men in Black. That's all that really matters at this point.
You're fucking Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think I would. I see. It's hard. I haven't been on Hagrid's. I've watched it plenty of times, so this is going to be obviously a judgment call on my part from not having ridden on it. But I think I would marry Spider-Man because I enjoy that attraction very much. It's consistent. It's good. I would kill Hagrid because half the time it's down anyway. So I might as well just put it out of its misery. And then I would fuck Men in Black, Alien Attack.
You're going to regret that after you ride it.
Bring that exhaust port over here, please.
Nikki, how do you feel about his qualifications for marriage being consistent and good?
I refrain from answering that question.
Good. It's good.
It's consistent and good.
It goes down half the time.
Oh my god, there's so
Moving on.
Did you guys know that Will You Be There was featured in Michael Jackson The Experience, the video game?
Moving on.
The video game?
Yeah, it sold 2 million units.
Damn! That's a lot of units.
This is going off the rails. Hunter, question for you. What haunted attraction and maze scared you the most?
Scarecrow the Reaping at
was
HHN 27.
I knew that answer before you said
Now,
it.
if we're talking about the major parks, it's that one. But actually, the scariest maze experience I've ever had is actually the T-shirt I'm wearing right now. It like took me a very long time to get into it. It's Ominous Descents, which is a haunted attraction out in Plant City, Florida, not too far from Lakeland. And man, what an awesome haunted house attraction!
I've heard of Ominous Descent, and they have a pretty hefty what's the word I'm looking for here? Reputation.
Yeah.
That's the word I was looking for.
They're part of Sir Henry's Haunted Trail. We were invited out there to check it out last year, and really blown away by how great everything was.
Yeah, no, I've watched a few different flow throughs, and I was actually very impressed. For me, the couple of things that kind of come to mind, at least when I was at Halloween Horror Nights, I actually completely agree with you, Hunter. Scarecrow the Reaping was one of my first experiences with a original concept maze at Halloween Horror Nights over in Orlando, and I was bothered with every scare. The sound design, sound design was impeccable, and I got tingles right now thinking about the noises. That's how much it bothered me. But if I'm talking about like at a Halloween Horror Nights over here, I was absolutely terrified to go into Insidious, because when I first saw that movie, it was the first horror movie in a very long time that bothered me a lot. And I had watched it 3 times in a row and still got scared from things I didn't see the prior 2 times. And knowing that there was a maze gonna come over to Hollywood, I was very nervous and anxious about going into the attraction. Nikki can attest. My hands were sweaty going into that attraction. So that definitely got me. But if I'm going to be talking about one particular scare that brought me to my knees almost, it was at Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando, the year that we went, which was 27. And it was in the American Horror Story maze, and it was in the Asylum section. And it was the section where it was kind of like that big room where they had that dance number in that season. And there was these pillars that were kind of in the walkway, and in between the pillars was a mirror. And I didn't know that. And so it looked like somebody coming out from nowhere, and I almost hit the floor. It was
great.
Incredible. I got up and I like clapped for that guy. I was like, oh my God, you got me, dude. You got me so good.
I appreciate Halloween Horror Nights Orlando's use of mirrors. They just use them so cleverly, and I feel like we don't see that out here.
No, we see black walls.
They use any haunt, not just Halloween Horror Nights, but don't get me started on our Halloween Horror Nights.
Scary Farm used mirrors last year in Origins of Calico.
Last year. But I'm talking about like before that, like Halloween Horror Nights Orlando, the year we went was the first time that I saw mirrors used that cleverly and that consistently. Like in that one that was the boat that sank.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it.
They were using the mirrors. Dead Waters. Yeah. Oh my God, I love that one. But they were using the mirrors as water. Like they were just so clever with mirrors.
They even put mirrors kind of on the walls too to make environments feel bigger.
Which they did in Calico, last year.
But, here in California.
I think the best usage of mirrors at the event was actually Man in the Mirror, which was a song by Michael Jackson released in 1988. No, Gabe, the scene you were talking about, if I remember correctly, is actually the Killer Santa Claus from the Asylum. Yeah, I remember.
Santa.
And what's fun about HHN Orlando, and I'm sure you see it a little bit out in Hollywood as well, is you'll see like room layouts, not exactly recycled, but kind of reused just because they work so well. So we actually saw that with the Caretaker 2 years prior, and kind of every other year, they alternate some sort of version of the scenes that you see.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Okay, so that was for Hunter. So Kenny, someone burped in your face while in line for Star Tours. What do you say to them?
Oh, so this can't be worse than like troll glitter farts.
Glitter farts? Yeah, no, it definitely can't be. Unless like a little piece of like food also comes up and like hits you in the face.
That wasn't in the original question.
I'm just saying it's a possibility.
That is a possibility. Jesus.
When was the last time you projectile burped a piece of food?
Yesterday.
Just saying, it's a slim possibility.
Just saying. Like, what if it's just like hanging out in the back of your throat and it's just the force needed to burp just projectiles it out of your mouth?
No, I call bullshit, but continue.
This is specifically in line for Star Tours?
Yeah, why'd you write it that way?
I don't know. There was no particular reason for it. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Oh, man. Yes. Specifically Star Tours.
Jesus. I'm honestly, I don't know. I really don't. I don't even know how I would handle that situation.
That was a weird question. I read that one and I was like, oh God, I hope he doesn't give that one to me, because I would just say nothing because I'm non-confrontational.
You would just walk the opposite direction.
I mean, don't get me
you're
wrong,
in line. You can't walk anywhere.
That's true.
I'm super confrontational, but I got nothing to say in this situation. Like,
I think you should just do the R2D2 like squeal. Like that's the best.
That would actually be perfect. That's a perfect response.
Just make them so uncomfortable that they leave. The other person.
Just start talking like Jar Jar Binks
thing.
Yeah, just do the right in his ear.
Yeah.
So he feels your breath, and then right after that, you just list off a whole bunch of Michael Jackson information.
Yes.
That you've memorized.
Yeah, that we have now. Thanks to this episode.
Yes, thank you very much for that. Now I have defense against the burpers.
We could start going through an itemized list of different Star Wars foods and what those subsequent burps would smell like.
Yeah.
like a green milk burp, or are we talking like a Ronto wrap burp?
Ugh.
Okay. Yeah, I think we've hit our peak capacity for talking about burping on this episode. That is my fault for including that question.
Way to end it on a high note, Gabe.
Well, we still have 2 more questions to go.
You said that was the last one.
The last round.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, Nikki, this is yours.
Okay.
This is all for you.
Okay.
After the last bodily function one, I think I'm going to skip that top one.
Okay, good.
Because it involves more bodily functions.
Okay, because I had an answer ready for that one.
Do you want that one?
No, it was this bad answer. Wait,
okay, fine.
Can I pick?
We're supposed to be spinning wheel, but there's so little that the high chance of it landing on a number that we've already done is very, very low, or very high, rather.
Can I do number 7, but everyone can answer? Which one?
Do whatever one you want.
Okay. Number 7.
Do it. Oh, you want me to read it?
Yes,
okay.
you're reading them all.
I love the dynamic of the marital bickering on this show.
It happens a lot.
Yeah.
1 meet and greet character from Disney. 1 meet and greet character from Universal. You choose the character. One enters the other one's turf, and they throw down big time. Who wins?
Okay.
So, Nikki, who would that be?
It is going to be SpongeBob from Universal.
It's such a random choice.
Yes, I know. And then it is going to be I'm having trouble picking another one.
Moana.
That's a good one.
That's a good one,
That's
actually.
a good one, Moana.
That's good.
Okay. Well, okay. See, this can go many ways because Moana's like she doesn't have any power. She's just a girl, but the ocean is her friend. But
SpongeBob just absorbs the entire ocean.
That's what I was gonna say. But so if the ocean tries to like help her, SpongeBob is just gonna go like, I'm ready. I'm just absorbing all the ocean power, and then just kind of like, headbutts her and she dies or something. I don't know. I think SpongeBob would win.
You might not be wrong.
Yeah, no, I think
definitely
SpongeBob would win. Wrong. Yeah. That's my answer.
Huh. What's the villain's name from Hunchback again? Frollo? Frollo? Yeah, I would have Frollo.
You said my SpongeBob was random? At least you see him in the park. Frollo.
You see him on the Disney runs every now and again.
Oh my gosh.
I'd pick Frollo. And then I would pick Optimus. And then I would recreate the scene from the movie and just toss him off into fire. That's what I would want to happen.
That's not you just created
a
scenario. You didn't actually say who would win, which Optimus would win. I'm mad at you.
How about the Triceratops meet and greet?
Yeah.
The one that does nothing.
Yeah.
and then have the Triceratops fight against the little animatronic Groot from Walt Disney World.
The little one?
Yeah, he was like a little itty bitty one, but he was with Star-Lord.
The little animatronic Groot would win.
Yeah, somehow.
Yeah. Well, he's feisty. He has powers.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay, someone else can answer. We're done.
I feel like Doc Brown is always on the verge of whooping some ass.
Oh yeah.
Like if Pluto just sort of stumbled into the park, he'd be whooping ass.
He'd be the first one there.
Get out of here.
Taking him down.
Einstein, where's Einstein?
The fuck would Pluto stumble into Universal?
Because that's the question, dude. If a Disney character walked into like a Universal park, like he's got to fight a Universal character, or vice versa.
All right.
I know a place where you can see these fights actually take place.
Where?
What?
For the
What do you mean,
Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Oh.
You want to know who would win? You just go down to Hollywood. They're out there fighting.
Or
right
Santa
in front of
Monica.
the Grom and
Or-
Chinese Theater.
Or Santa Monica Pier. They're there too.
Yes. That really happens.
It really happens. Yeah. I've seen Spider-Man fight someone.
Yeah, he threw a
Yeah.
shake at Rob Dyrdek's car. Anyway, if nobody else has anything to say on the subject, I think we should end on a high note. Because there have been many low points to this conversation.
Let's end it on Spider-Man throwing a shake at Rob Dyrdek's Tesla.
Exactly. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us for this extra long, albeit hysterical episode. Finally got you guys to find some time and figure out how to get on our show for once. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it, you guys taking the time to do that. And make sure to let everybody know who's listening right now how they could find your show and enjoy your show.
Sure.
Take it away, Hunter.
Sure, I do this all the time. So, first of all, if you want to follow my main show, which is all about the life and times of our Lord and Savior Michael Jackson, you can do that on Wikipedia every single. No, if you want to keep up with Travis, Kinney, and myself, the best place to do that is on Grim Grinning Hosts. We are a tribute to all things pop culture, but mostly theme parks. We're pretty irreverent, so join us. We're a wild bunch over there. So hopefully you guys didn't find us too obnoxious.
Definitely not. More
No,
endearing.
it was
Endearing. Sweet. Kind.
Hmm.
You know, all those things that associate with Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
But thank you guys, and hopefully we'll catch each other for another No One soon.
Yeah,
Thanks for having us.
absolutely.
I don't think I've laughed during an episode that much in a long time.
I can't comment right now because we recorded it like 1,000 years ago, so I don't remember it vividly. I have to wait.
You don't
What?
remember that at all?
Oh yeah,
Isn't it funny how we record like a week and a half after we record with them?
yeah.
And you forget what's going on until I start referencing it.
No, it's
something that you already involved
honestly, it's
in.
really hard. Like for all
It's
the
weird
listeners
for-
out there,
It's weird for the audience because they
No,
just heard it.
No, I know. So I like for all of the listeners out there, and this is like this goes back to old episodes, and it's like a warning for future episodes. If like we come back at the end, and I'm like, yeah, that was great. It's because I don't remember.
Yeah, Nikki really doesn't remember. I mean, during this quarantine time, that memory is usually soaked up with other important things like how to sit down, how
Or
to drink water.
White Claw, sometimes.
Only White Claw.
Oh, no, it's more like how to keep a 1.5-year-old entertained all day at home.
Or how do I keep my husband entertained all day at home?
My life is hard, guys. I don't have the mental space to keep the episodes in my brain.
Nikki
all the
has
time.
less than a terabyte of space in her brain.
Yeah, I do. I do.
No, but we had a really good time with them, and it was really fun just having a silly, goofy episode to have fun with. You know?
Yeah.
Not fact driven or anything. It was just
Fun.
have fun,
Yeah.
be silly, make jokes.
We hope you enjoyed it too.
Yeah, we hope everybody really enjoyed this. And I think that's partially why I didn't want to do Midsummer Scream cancellation on
With
this episode was
yeah.
because like the whole point of this episode was to just laugh.
Yeah.
And you know, if somebody wants to listen to the bonus episode where we talk about Midsummer Scream getting canceled, then they can't listen to it specifically because they want that information.
And it's probably not all downer news. I mean, I'm sure Rick has some good things because
there's
I know
things planned for 2021 already.
No, so I'm sure he's going to talk about things that are planned and things to look forward to. So it's not all just going to be boo-hoo, it got canceled, this is how it got canceled. You know, so there. Don't worry, guys. It won't be completely downer.
No, it won't be completely downer. I just didn't want to mix that with this.
Yeah, no, I totally get it.
But no, yeah, we hope that everybody thoroughly enjoyed this episode. And make sure you tune in to the next week's episode because, like I said, it's going to be the bonus one with Rick, and we're going to be talking about Midsummer Scream.
Yeah.
So, and then after that, I think we're going to be doing a history episode. Not quite sure what the history episode's going to be about quite yet.
Yeah, because we don't think 2 weeks ahead.
No, I usually do. I've been thinking about this for a long time. I just haven't been able to pull the trigger on it yet.
Oh, okay. I don't think 2 weeks ahead.
No, you don't.
Gabe runs this ship.
Remember, 1 terabyte worth of space.
Yeah, Gabe runs this ship. I sit on the prow.
Sometimes I don't run it well.
And drink White Claw.
But yes, thank you everybody for tuning into this week's episode. It was a big fun one for us.
Yeah.
And make sure you follow and check out Grim Grinning Host Podcast. Big fan of their podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I have a lot of fun listening to them. They're a hoot. So make sure to follow them and listen. And if you haven't already, make sure you follow us on social media. You can find us at Theme Park Duo on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. And if you want to email us, you can always email us at
themeparkduo@gmail.com.
And if you haven't already, make sure you head on over to iTunes, whatever platform you're listening on, and leave us a review.
Please.
It's actually a free way to support the show. You know, we're not doing this for money here. We're doing this for shits and giggles. Well, not shits and giggles. We're having fun doing it.
I don't know about you. I'm doing shits and giggles.
We're having fun doing this here, but it's a free way to support the show, and it's a very easy way of doing it. So make sure you head over to whatever platform and leave us a review. We'd be obviously very grateful for that. And if you guys leave us a 5-star written review on iTunes, we will shout you out here on the show.
Yeah.
So, thank you again, everybody, for listening. And always remember, there's always a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
See ya.
Thanks for riding with the Theme Park Duo. Make sure to gather all your belongings before the end of the podcast. Bye-bye.